So many of us are trying to sell our offers in such a strategically perfect way that we actually end up watering down what makes them stand out to our best fit customers. And that is the unique personality and experience that we bring to the table as individual and imperfect humans, which is what today's episode is all about. Welcome to the Soulful Sales Show, where we talk about believing in the value of your offers, getting them in front of your right people, and selling more of what you do in your unique way. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Sales Show. And today I'm going to talk about something really important, actually, that I think gets quite lost sometimes in all the talk of strategy and doing things right and, being really smart with your marketing, promise, messaging, all of this stuff. And that is the fact that you, as a unique human with totally unique stuff to bring to the table, are your unique selling proposition. So when it comes to marketing, you might have heard this phrase before, your unique selling proposition. It's used, to what it means is finding your companies or your products, your offers, kind of stand out thing in relation to your competitors. And obviously this is talked about in a really specific strategic way when it comes to big corporations and different kind of businesses and stuff. But when it comes to people like us, people like you and me, who are individual business owners, who are probably the face of our business, I think that actually it can get very overwhelming to think about what makes our offer stand out when it comes to the competition. There are so many people doing what it is that we do. There are so many people out there doing exactly what it is that I do. There are so many business coaches out there. There are so many people doing whatever it is that you do out there. It is so easy to get caught up in comparison and think, like, what's the point of me sharing my stuff? Or why would anybody choose me when all of these other people are out there doing the thing that I do as well? And this is something that I am not immune to. So I will look at other business coaches and I will see them, rocking it and having successes that I'm not having, making more sales. They've got amazing testimonials, whatever. And I'll think, well, why would anyone choose me when they could just go with that person who makes the most money in their business or who has the most testimonials or who has the cheapest prices? And I think that's a trap that a lot of us fall into. A lot of us find it really, really hard to believe why anyone would choose us. So we try to compete on price alone and think that it will be easier to sell our stuff if we price our things lower. Now, I'm not against low pricing and I have plenty of low ticket offers in my business, but I do think that if you're doing it from a place of self-doubt and not seeing any other reason why people would choose you apart from a lower price, that is a recipe for getting resentful, getting burnt out with your work, and ultimately your work and your business not being sustainable. But the good news is that there is plenty you can do to dig into this and price your offers and sell your offers from a place of more grounded confidence. And before I go into more about doing that, I just want to say that I absolutely believe you can make sales and you can make money, you can run a successful business, you can sell your offers, even if you doubt yourself. So please don't think that this episode is me going, if you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to make the sales you want to make. I have seen that kind of messaging around in the online business space for a long time. And for a long time, I bought into that myself. And actually, what I believe it is another way to beat ourselves up, especially if you are someone with mental health stuff, especially if you are neurodivergent. That is not healthy messaging for us. It is okay to have self-doubt. In fact, it would be weird if you didn't, but some of us have it at a larger scale than others, but you can still make it work, okay? So you get to make your business work and work on this stuff at the same time. The other thing that I need to say before I get into this is that when I say that you are your unique selling proposition, I'm not going to go on a whole thing about you need to charge your worth, right? Because you can never charge your worth. You are a priceless human being. You are absolutely worthy, and you can still have a low priced offer if that feels aligned for you. You are absolutely worthy, and you can have a high priced offer and that will still never match your worth. Okay. So they're my two caveats. You can absolutely have self-doubt and your worth is priceless. And what you choose to price your offers at and how you choose to market your offers is independent of that. So all of that stuff said, and even though you are priceless and can never charge your worth, as an individual business owner who is the face of your business, who is the voice of your business, it is really important to acknowledge that your unique philosophy and your unique experience is a huge selling point of the offer. Like I said, it is so easy to get caught in that comparison and wonder why anyone would choose you when there are so many other people out there doing what it is that you do. I think that you are going to find things so much easier, both in terms of the practicalities of selling your offer, but how you feel when you're putting your offer out there, if you get clear on why they would choose you. And that's the question I want to pose to you in this podcast episode. Why would they choose you? Because the truth is, people are not looking, and I'm going to use examples of, people looking to learn from people or get coached by people. You might have a different kind of business. I will trust you to apply this to your kind of business. People are not looking to learn from you. People are not looking to learn from me because we are the best. It is not about being the best. And you can have actually loads of flaws and loads of failures under your belt and still be the best person for them. And that's the key difference that I want to point out. It's not about being the best. It's not about being perfect. It's about being the best person for your right people. What I call being the right person for your right people. So what I invite you to think about when it comes to what it is that you are selling, it could be a specific offer that you're selling right now. It could be your business as a whole and how you're feeling about getting new clients and people working with you in your business as a whole. What I would love for you to ask yourself off the back of this, I think this is going to be a short and sweet episode, is what do your flaws, or your perceived flaws, I should say, and what do your failures actually bring to the table? What do they add to your offer? Why would people choose you because of those flaws and failures? So in my case, I know I'm not the most successful business coach out there. I know that I have plenty of my own confidence stuff to work through, even though I help people with their self-belief and self-confidence. I have actually been through a phase, especially this year, where my confidence really, really dropped. And it was really challenging for me, actually, because I had done so much work on this. I have done so much coaching on this, therapy on this, all the things, and made so much progress. And then to have a period where it was really totally shaken back to the core again was really, really challenging for me. And for my position as a business coach, it really made me question things like, can I actually help people if this is the way it's gone for me, if I've done all this work and then it's dropped again? Obviously, out of the other side of that, and I'm not saying, by the way, that I'm 100% confident in everything now, but I have worked through a lot of that stuff. From the other side of that, it's really easy for me to see that actually that puts me in a better position to help my people. I don't believe that any of us are robots and that any of our journey is like an A to B. Oh, we work through the confidence stuff and then we're done and everything's fine forever. The truth is that life is messy. Even if we do all this stuff within our own control and do all this work on ourselves, we can't control the outside circumstances of life that might come and rock things for us. We can't control mental health episodes that might happen. And also, even if life is fabulous and everything's going really well, it's still very, very human to have periods of doubt and periods where we're not feeling so great about things. So it's really seeing the fact that you going through things, whether it's a more recent thing or whether it's a past thing, you having these experiences puts you in such a better position to help your people who will inevitably, if not already are, experiencing these things for themselves as well. And just imagine for a moment that there was a perfect coach or a perfect course creator or a perfect insert whatever it is that you do. How demoralizing and how difficult would it be to get value from working with them as a totally flawed and imperfect human. If you went to them and they just said, actually, you know what, I can't relate to that. You just need to do better. You just need to focus on this and everything will be fine. And you're like, well, I am doing that. I am doing the work and everything is not fine. And you just don't understand me. You are not going to get anywhere with someone who has absolutely no understanding. Like, absolutely, they can ask you the right questions and all of this. But if they truly do not understand your experience when you're going through this stuff, how far do you think you are going to get working with that person versus coming to someone like me or, anyone else who has been through this stuff, who is in the thick of it, who has not just worked through a process and come out the other side and it's been years now and things are going great, but are working through it constantly and are, relearning the stuff that they teach and embodying the stuff that they teach, practicing the stuff that they teach again and again. And this is why I say you are the right person for for your right people. Because when I first started to get visible in this business, I was absolutely terrified to show my face. It would not have helped me whatsoever to find a shiny coach who was just perfect and looked amazing and was doing videos all the time and never stumbled in their words and was super confident. And they would have just told me, just do this, that, and the other. They would have told me the steps. I knew what the steps were. What was really helpful for me was to hear from someone who saw my imperfections, who embraced my imperfections and helped me to see that it was okay to show up with my imperfections. And actually, at this point, I trust that these imperfections are actually a thing that probably connects you to me. It's not just okay to show up with my imperfections, but it's beneficial to my business to be honest about them as well. So that is a question I want to ask you today. How can you see your flaws and failures as a reason why people would work with you? And then I just want to end by inviting you to look at your copy, like your sales pages or your emails or your social media posts and just ask yourself, are you being honest in them? Now, I'm not accusing you of trying to hide anything or pretend to be something different on purpose, but I know that with my experience that I spoke about earlier this year where my confidence was really rocked quite a lot this year, I realized at some point during that experience that I was really watering myself down in my copy, especially in my sales pages. And I will be the first to admit, I bloody love using AI. I love using ChatGPT. Really, really helpful for the way my brain works. I will delay on starting things forever. And ChatGPT really helps me with that kind of blank page issue. It gets me going and I really love it for that reason. But where it can become a problem is when everything comes out really generic. And I notice this in my own work. I notice this frequently in other people's work as well. What we are writing in our messaging, in our sales pages, in our content, in our posts, it shouldn't all be the most strategic thing. Like, I firmly believe it should not all be the most strategic thing. As much as in my own offers, I will help you to get really, really clear on, the benefits of your offer and why people actually want to buy it versus you just telling people about what it's about in nice, fluffy language. I will absolutely help you with that strategic stuff, but it isn't all about that strategic stuff. What I realized was, and this really became apparent to me when I was writing a new sales page for an offer that was part of my Soulful Sales Society membership, a training that was going in there, is that my personality was so removed from it. I was so focused on, here are the practical things you're going to get out of it, that the soul was left out. The heart and soul of like how it feels to show up and sell in a certain way. Why this matters more than just getting a result. And I know for me, it was because I was going through a phase where I felt way less confident in myself, that it felt really safer to make it more about you get A, B, and C. And don't get me wrong, it's really important to talk about those tangible outcomes, but you can do it with your personality in there as well. So I just want to invite you to think about any copy that you have created recently or are creating or are working on. How can you insert your personality into it, bearing in mind that your unique way of looking at things, your unique experiences, your unique way of doing things, they are your unique selling proposition. There are so many other people who could share a training that promises the same practical things that I was promising from that training. There are way fewer people that would do it through the lens that I was seeing it through, which is ultimately protecting my health, physical and mental health, and enjoying the way that I work. I guess I would also add, doing it in a way that allows you to feel like yourself and feel totally aligned with your values as well. But yeah, I noticed this in myself, so I wanted to bring it up today in this podcast episode. It's not easy actually to own that unique stuff about you. It's far easier actually to look at what other people are doing and try to, as much as we do get stuck in that comparison and think that we have so much competition, subconsciously it's actually safer to be more like the competition, because it feels like, a tried and true option. Like, oh, I'm less likely to fail if I just do the thing everyone else is doing. But the truth is, being a bit brave and sharing your personality is what's going to make your offer stand out. And I see this in my summit as well. When I was picking presentations for my summit, I really tried to have a mix of, here's a really cool practical strategy, and here's someone who is speaking from their heart about what it is that they do and the way that they do it. And I think that is why I have such incredible feedback for the summit. And again, I had to have a word with myself when I was picking the speakers, and to remember this, that it's not all about some nice strategy that fits neatly into a box, but it's also about the messy stuff and the human stuff and the stuff that's from the heart. That doesn't fit nicely into that box as well. And I have a whole course about this, by the way, because there is so much more to it than I could ever share in a single podcast episode. That is called The Magic of You Unleashed. And it's really about truly owning this stuff, doing the inner work, then doing the practical work to apply it to all of your offers and your copy and all of that stuff as well. So yeah, just remember, you are the right person for your right people. People will choose you because of your perceived flaws and failures. There are people out there who have heard from all these other people who do what it is that you do, but they're waiting to hear the way you say it, because the way you say it, or the way you teach it, or the way you support them through it is going to be the way that it makes it finally land for them. I know I've had that experience. I'm sure you've had that experience as well. So yeah, my invitation today, get out there, infuse some of your incredible, unique, brilliant, imperfect, flawed personality into your offers, and create your sales content knowing that you are your unique selling proposition. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Soulful Sales. If you have a moment to rate and review, know that it really does make a difference. And if you'd like to carry on the conversation, then you can connect with me on Instagram at Ruth Poundwhite, sign up to my newsletter at ruthpoundwhite.com/newsletter, or my personal favorite, join me inside the low ticket membership at ruthpoundwhite.com/membership. And keep doing what you're doing, because your work really does matter.